Good morning, students, and welcome to history class again. Dear students, we are learning about the growth of nationalism. No? It is the second lesson, and this lesson is about the growth of nationalism in India, or the meaning growth of freedom movement in India after the revolt of 1857. Already we have learned the great uprising of 1857, no? And we have learned about the various causes and the results of the revolt of 1857. So please revise the lesson, learn the lesson, and we have learned one of the most important results produced by the revolt was the growth of nationalism. Or there was a increase or the rise of a feeling of nationalism, a feeling of nationalism. So this lesson is about that only. And today we will learn about the meaning of the term nationalism. What is the meaning of the term nationalism? Okay, let me explain. Nationalism refers to the feeling of oneness and common consciousness that emerges when people living in a common territory share the same historical, political and cultural background, have the same language, cultural values and consider themselves as one nation. So we can say India, okay, let us take our case India, a vast country with diversities. We have different languages, okay, cultures. We are having a number of diversities now, but we are one. We are all the what we as a members of same country, our country, So that feeling is known as the nationalism. Common territory share the same historical, political and cultural background, have the same language, cultural values and considered as so this feeling was not there in the beginning. When the Britishers were there, before the Britishers, now we know that there were many kingdoms, small kingdoms. So people had no idea, they had no feeling of oneness or nationalism. Okay, during the Britishers also, it was not there. But slowly, there was the growth of this feeling in our country. Okay, India had a long history going back to many countries, centuries. It was never a one nation and comprised many kingdoms. So this is the history of India, no? Okay. There were times when vast portions of Indian subcontinent came under the rule of one empire. But the loyalty of the people was towards a particular king or kingdom. The modern feeling of nationalism was lacking among them. So initially, people of India had no such feeling. Okay, lack of nationalism was there. Then it emerged during the British rule mainly as a reaction of the British rule and the clash of interests of the Indian people with those of the Britishers. After the arrival of the Britishers, no. So because of their policies, so slowly there was the growth of this feeling of nationalism in India. Okay, we have learned in the previous chapter. Okay, Indians resisted the British rule from its very beginning, but this resistance was localized and scattered. It means before the revolt of 1857. Okay, before the beginning of the revolt, no. So there were many resistance, but localized only. It was not able to give a shock to the British Empire. Okay, it was undertaken by the deposed chieftains, their descendants and relations, Zamindars, ex-soldiers and officials of the Indian states. The culmination of traditional opposition to British rule came with the First War of Independence. Although it failed to achieve its objectives, it inspired the Indians to resist the foreign power and make a determined struggle for the country's freedom. So the revolt of 1857, it was an example or it was an inspiration for the people of India. And this revolt was one reason for the growth of nationalism. No, okay, we know that people resisted and the people fought against British. No, after the fear of the revolt, so there was the growth of a feeling, feeling of nationalism. So we can say one of the main reason for the growth of nationalism was the revolt. Various memories only. Okay. The very nature of the foreign rule resulted in nationalistic sentiments rising among the Indians and produced conditions conducive for the rise and growth of powerful national movement. The presence of the British and their policies on India was one of the main reasons for the growth of nationalism in our country. We have learned now in lesson number 1, we have learned about the various causes for the great uprising. So one of the most important reasons for the great uprising was the economic policies of the British in India. So after the revolt also, they did not stop the economic exploitation. Their economic policies were the main reason for the growth of nationalism in India that we are going to learn. Okay. So now we will start the various reasons for the growth of nationalism. Factors. For example, first one was the economic exploitation. There were many factors that aroused opposition to British rule. Okay, economic exploitation was the most important among them. One of the most important reasons for the growth of nationalism was the economic policies of the British in India after the revolt of 1857. The Indians realized that the general aim of the British policies in India was to promote their own interests at the cost of welfare of Indians. The economic discontent of different sections of society was as follows. So they were not able to satisfy the Indians who were not able to, the British were not able to satisfy the Indians. No, so their economic policies badly affect the Indians. Okay, so we will learn how did their economic policies affect the following sections. Firstly, the peasants or the farmers. So the peasants were the main victims of British colonial policies. Farmers were the main victims. The government took away a large part of their produce in the form of land revenue and other tax. The British government introduced a number of taxes on India. Okay, so the farmers had to pay huge taxes to the British. These exorbitant means very high taxes led the peasants into the clutches of landlords and moneylenders. So the farmers were not able to pay the increased taxes or the revenue, the tax we can say. So what happened? So in order to meet the situation, some poor farmers or peasants took a loan from the moneylenders. They were not able to repay the loan to the moneylenders, so gradually they lost their land. So the victim, the result of the economic policy of the British on India on those days. And how did their policy affect the artisans and the craftsmen? Skilled workers were there, The British economic policies were against the interests of Indian trade and industry. The English East India Company used its political power to destroy Indian handicrafts and industry. Okay. The English East India Company used its political power to destroy Indian handicrafts and industry before the revolt. Already we have learned. After the revolt of 1857, companies' rule ended. Then the British Parliament. India became a source of raw materials for the industries of Britain and a market for their finished goods. Already we have learned economic exploitation. The East India Company before the revolt of 1857, the East India Company purchased raw materials from the farmers at a cheap rate, and then they exported these raw materials to Britain. After that, East India Company imported their finished goods to India. Okay, this was the nature of the economic exploitation of the Britishers on those days. This policy troubled the artisans and craftsmen as they were devoid of their sources of livelihood. They lost their occupation. The economic policies of the Britishers did not support the Indian industries. Their export and import policies destroyed many Indian handicrafts and small-scale industries, cotton industries. So what happened? As a result of this policy, so there was the collapse of Indian industries and people lost their occupation. Government has to protect the industry, that is very important. Government policies are very essential. Government policies are very essential to protect the Indian industries. But the Britishers did not take any measures to protect the Indian industries. Okay, so it is a small video. Please listen the video from the beginning to the end, and if you want, you can note some points in a test CW copy. Okay, so revise the lesson. You are having the textbook, no? Okay, please revise the lesson, and we will continue the lesson. I will explain clearly everything. Okay, thank you.